Clarita's hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS, Home 411, with Randall Winter of Randall Winter Construction. We're talking all things landscaping, talking sprinkler systems to start. And you think, when I think sprinkler system, I just turn them on, then I'll walk away. That's my extent of
That's most
knowledge.
of what we like to do. So I think we're going to stay in the same vein, right, Jeff? But I did have something. We got this water spot from a sprinkler hitting my new windows, and it's like turning white, and the guy's scraping it off. Tell me about water spots on windows and
how to avoid them.
Yeah.
Well,
thanks.
first off, you definitely want to make sure the sprinklers are adjusted that are there, and instead of just turning on the.
Well, it was adjusted.
Okay. Well, it may be, or the wind is blowing and it's getting it all in there. When you take a look at windows and the high cost of windows, and you don't want to have those spots in there interfering with the view. One of the things that I'd recommend now is that if you've got, Randy, let's say a state-of-the-art 1980s sprinkler system that's there, even though it's working as well as it can work, you might consider upgrading it, because you can put a system in now that will have no overspray. There'll be no mist that sprays onto the window. If the breeze blows, that would knock water onto the window, even if it's adjusted. If the wind blows on here, we could avoid that by putting in a drip system. And, we can retrofit the system here. You don't have to tear it all the way out.
So I can leave all the pipes and stuff in there.
You could, and we can go ahead and retrofit that. And not only will it avoid all of the water spots on your window, but it's going to eliminate runoff. And let's just say next to your house you've got wood siding on there. You don't want water on that wood.
Oh, on the summit. That's terrible, those houses.
You really don't want that. I also see where we improve, and we can help a lot of people if they have wrought iron, water spraying on it, and you know how frequently you have to paint this. It seems like every other year you got to get out there and paint it to avoid the rust. We can avoid that by retrofitting to a drip system. And the drip system is wonderful on a lot of levels. Obviously, there's the avoiding the issue of water spots that are on your window. We're not going to degrade your property. It's not going to accelerate the wear on the stucco, on your paint, on your wrought iron. But the plants are going to do better also, because when we put in a drip system, it's essentially put in on a grid pattern. And right now, let's just say you have a spray head and it's working just fine, but there's a plant nearby. And as that plant grows, it blocks the spray pattern from that sprinkler. And what happens? Water pours in front of it, but the plants that are behind it go dry.
I got that.
Well, most people do. And so when we install a drip system in here, it also puts the water, and it puts the water where the plants need it and where they have to get it.
But don't they get clogged up under the ground like that, or?
They can, but what we do is, as part of installing this system, we also install a pressure regulator, and we also put in a fine mesh filter. Oh. So that helps maintain and take away a lot of the problems that we've had years ago. And by the way, the drip system that I'm describing now isn't one of those little spaghetti tube systems that as soon as you touch them, they fall apart. These are larger, they're more durable, and they're made by the largest manufacturers out there. So they're there and they're proven. I'll tell you, I've had one for almost 6 years at my house, and I've loved it. And the thing that I loved best about it wasn't that I don't get spray on the window, wasn't that all my plants I don't have any dry spots anymore because it waters so evenly. I love having this because when I park my truck in the driveway, if I stop there and the wind blows and the sprinklers are on, I never get a water spot on there.
Wonderful.
I love that part of it.
Wonderful. That's great. That's 2 more. Okay. Thanks, Kyle. He's keeping us posted on what's happening. So the wet spots are going to be gone with the drip system.
The wet spots are gone, but if I could just interrupt, some of the other benefits that you have on here is that clearly we're using less water. Most people look at a drip system and they think, oh, I'm going to put it in. It's a better management practice. It's better for the environment, and they're going to save water, and they then can track that on their water bill. I think that the biggest savings that you get is not just the water savings, it's actually the maintenance to your property. You're not painting as often, you're not dealing with rust on your wrought iron, and you're not cleaning your windows as often. I think you, of all people, probably know water is bad on your house.
Oh, yeah. You don't want the water standing near your house, in your foundation, on your slab. And like I said earlier, the Summit has a lot of that old wood siding or composite wood. It's all deteriorating. These sprinklers are hitting them. That's a great idea. Now, is it only good for planters, or can you put it in the grass?
I don't like to put them in grass just yet. Now, if we have very small little slivers where there's really no way to properly irrigate the grass, that would be an application. But what happens is that your grass has very fine root hairs, and those root hairs can actually penetrate into the drip emitters that are buried under the ground. They have products out there that the manufacturers claim work well to avoid having the root penetration in there. But what happens is that I actually want to see those in practice for a while before I start putting them in underneath a lot of lawns.
Okay.
I really want to watch those. Much of what we do, we actually have tried out at our own homes. And I want to know, I want my house to be the beta site, not yours.
Good, good. And you can retrofit this into an existing system.
Absolutely.
Is it, I know it depends on the size of the area we're talking about, but is it a pretty expensive proposition, or is this?
You know what? It's actually a little bit more costly than putting in a conventional sprinkler system, but the savings go on forever.
Oh, cool. Okay. Thanks, Jeff.
Jeff, how do we get a hold of you? If people are listening, they want more information on NV Landscape. How do we find more information?
There's a couple of ways. The easy way is if they want to stop by our office in Old Town Newhall. We've been there for 14 years, right there in downtown Newhall. They can call us at 661-286-8888 or go to nvlandscape.com.
Fantastic. More Home 411 after this on AM 1220 KHTS.